Wendy Vandenboom, DVM and Dairy Science Instructor with NWTC. Wendy.
Good morning, everybody. Glad that you can be here to join us today. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we offer at NWTC, specifically in the Dairy Science program. You may have seen in maybe some of the other post-secondaries, you'll see like an animal science program that is a little bit more broad, goes through more animals. Dairy Science program at NWTC is very young. As a matter of fact, I've only graduated 2 groups out of our program so far. And how this developed actually came from producers in the area that came to NWTC saying that they needed educated, trained, skilled workers, specifically in the dairy science field. And that's pretty much how this program got developed. Is the need is there, the business is there, the jobs are there. So here we are. I just really wanted to real briefly talk. I mean, we always talk about Wisconsin being the dairy state, and of course California and their cows. But heck, our cows are still happier. We've got a lot of money. This is an $88.3 billion industry of agriculture in Wisconsin, and half of that is directly related to dairy. That equates to well over 400,000 jobs through the agriculture field through the state. Those jobs aren't going anywhere. If anything, I mean, a couple of people have mentioned already, we still need to eat. The world is growing. It's becoming more of a global feeding problem, if you want to call it that. So we're going to need these people to be trained, be skilled, be educated, to make a difference and be very efficient in helping to feed the world. Again, just a kind of a visual, if you don't like words, this is just showing that, dairy is half of what Wisconsin gets out of an agriculture economy. And you may also wonder, well, that's great, but how does that actually affect the community? And when we look at an individual dairy cow, she's actually putting about $34,000 a year back into the local economy. That could be in school taxes, property taxes, safety services like your police and fire, et cetera. Going back to the grocery store, going back to community involvement. So this is not just a family farm or a large dairy farm that's just taking care of itself. These are actually taking care of the community as well. When we talk about Wisconsin dairy, it means more to Wisconsin than oranges do to Florida or potatoes do to Idaho. Again, they're huge dollar amounts. And that, again, is why some of these producers came to NWTC saying, hey, we really need these educated people. Again, you've heard from other speakers already this morning about how quickly and how immensely the agriculture world is changing and developing. Technology is constantly evolving. There's so many research and development projects going on throughout the industry that, I was a nutritionist as well as a veterinarian. When I first started doing nutrition, I could do a ration for a dairy cow with a pad of paper and a pencil. You cannot do a ration today for a dairy cow without a very sophisticated program because we're balancing for amino acids and fatty acids, not just regular protein. So this is a huge economic impact. You can make a difference, and the jobs are certainly going to be there. So what are our options at NWTC? The main ones for being on campus, we actually have two pathways. The first would be the technical diploma. It's a 1-year program. And then follow that would be the associate's degree, which is a 2-year program. So you finish the first year, then you go on to the second year. And I kind of think of this program as kind of like peeling back the layers of the onion. The first few classes were very broad. We're kind of just getting a feel for the entire industry. And then as we get deeper into the program, we really delve pretty deep. We go into animal health, specifics on nutrition, those kind of things. What I didn't put on this slide is we actually do have a few high schools that are working with us with something called the farmhand certificate. And there are a couple of our classes that you can take actually in high school. And get a farmhand certificate for that, which again will give you a leg up going to work on a farm, showing that you have some of the skill and some of the training already done. Plus those classes then count toward your pathway at NWTC. So you would have those classes already done, credit is already there, and you're well on your way to getting your associate degree or your technical diploma. I just wanted to throw this up here, but this just tells you a little bit of what our dairy science program kind of looks like. So that first semester, like I said, it's pretty broad. It's an intro to dairy science. What is this all about? A little bit on economics, some basic animal husbandry, which is just animal well-being and care. Then we move into records, livestock production, specifically on dairy. We look at housing and equipment, and then you get a chance to go out and do an internship. Internships are usually a paid but can be volunteer, where you're going out and you're working with a farmer, or you could be in sales or retail or somewhere in industry. You're learning what the jobs are. You're learning what is out there. You're trying to see what your fit is. And I always tell students this is an awesome opportunity to go out of your comfort zone, and you have a safety net. This is a class, so it's not like a job you're trying to keep for the next 20 years, and if you get fired, you're done. Although I'll be honest, many of my students that go to internship, they're offered employment before they even leave that internship. Then third semester, we get deeper. It's the second year now, so we go into nutrition, specifically calf and heifer replacement. Then we have another internship, so you get another opportunity to explore another part of the dairy industry. And then our final semester, we wrap things up with that animal health, farm business planning, where you look at, again, kind of tying in some of those economics, and then the dairy production management, which kind of ties the whole 2 years together and brings everything kind of full circle, so that you kind of have a well-rounded education when you are done. Just a couple things on some different careers. You can be anything from a milking parlor supervisor, calf care technician, transition cow technician, maternity pen management. You can kind of see them there. I'm not going to read them all to you, but there are jobs everywhere. If anybody tells you that agriculture is a nowhere zone and why would you look at that, there's nowhere to go, I will tell you that they're wrong. These are well-paying jobs. They are respected jobs. They have tons of opportunities. You may start out, for instance, in the AI industry. Maybe you'll start out as an AI technician, which you can certainly move into off a NWTC dairy science degree. But there are ways to move up into management, into additional sales. So you have career movement pretty much in every aspect of this industry. Real briefly, again, technical college, why are we looking at it? I mean, we've got hands-on. It's affordable. We're close to home. We know that we can employ our students. Most of our students are employed at, and again, I can say from my dairy science, my students are almost all, I think there's one, they're employed before they actually graduate. And that has been a really good feeling for a lot of our students. Affordability, we do compete a little bit with some of the four-year colleges in a dairy science. You're going to leave tech college with a little bit less debt. And I also say we're much more hands-on. So my students do tend to perform very, very well, even against some of the four-year dairy science students that they've interned alongside. So you are going to get a very good education, and the employers are going to be happy with what you come out of here with. Again, as we mentioned before, we're talking about hands-on. We're out on the farm. You're learning how to handle cows. You're learning how to do AI. You're learning how to work with dystocias. You're learning how to test milk on farm. So it's a ton of hands-on experience and lab experience. I just threw a couple things up on here. These are just current job postings. They do exist. This is a large dairy looking for a full-time herdsman. Here's another one on another 1,000 cow dairy. This is southwestern Wisconsin, but again, just kind of looking through, there's a lot of benefits. These are not $10 an hour jobs. These are well-paid positions. And then this is just another. This is actually more of a sales type situation. But again, you can get there the $40,000 to $100,000 a year. That's a pretty darn good paycheck for a dairy science degree. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions or you are curious about anything, I would love to talk to you. I am a veterinarian, but I love teaching. I am passionate about cows. I'm passionate about dairy, and I'd love to see you in my classroom.